Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dig into the tools that shape history and push limits. Today we're chasing the holy grail every shooter dreams about. A rifle that plants every bullet exactly where you want it, no matter the distance. We're talking sub-MOA magic, the kind that turns heads at the range and rewrites record books. To get there, you need flawless steel, a rock-solid action, ammo that behaves, and hands that know every trick in the book. Over the decades, that obsession has produced some absolute masterpieces. And I've rounded up the 10 rifles that sit at the top of the accuracy mountain. If you live for tight groups and the stories behind them, smash that subscribe button and let's dive in. Let's kick this journey off right in the heart of World War II, with a true British legend that took an everyday infantry rifle and transformed it into a sniper's masterpiece. The Lee-Enfield No. 4 MKOIT. Imagine the British Army in total war, needing not just reliability, but deadly precision under fire. They combed the production lines, handpicking only the smoothest, most consistent No. 4s. Rifles already showing elite accuracy and build quality. Then they sent these gems to Holland and Holland, Britain's most revered gunsmiths, who turned them into works of art. High-grade No. 32 scopes, custom cheek rests, reinforced stocks, and triggers tuned to perfection. The result? A rifle that reached out past 800 yards, stacking rounds so tight it looked like the bullets refused to spread. This wasn't a lab experiment. It saw brutal action from North Africa to Normandy to the Pacific. Snipers dropping targets through dust, rain, and chaos with single silent shots that shifted battles. It proved you don't need a dedicated sniper platform. Start with a rock-solid base, select the best, and let master craftsmen elevate it. The bolt cycle's fast and smooth even under stress. The walnut stock fits like it was grown for the rifle, and the whole package blends military toughness with old-world elegance. Pros: historic significance, bomb-proof durability, and still capable of stunning accuracy with the right ammo and shooter. It's the rifle that birthed modern military sniping. Downsides: original .303 British ammo is scarce and pricey. Match-grade loads are rare. And these are vintage pieces requiring careful maintenance. Parts don't grow on trees. Then there's the cost. A clean, matching numbers No. 4 MKIT with original scope runs $6,000 to $9,000 today. They're not weekend shooters. They're collector-grade heirlooms, rarely hitting the market, and when they do, bidding wars erupt. Prized by historians, reenactors, and serious marksmen, this rifle stands as living proof that sometimes the old ways still outshine the new in the endless hunt for precision. Next up is an absolute American legend that laughed in the face of anyone who said semi-autos can't play in the precision game, the national Match M1 Garand. Picture this: World War II. Just wrapped, the standard M1 is already a hero, but competitive shooters and armorers start wondering how far they can push it. They grab the best receivers off the line, glass bed them into beefed up walnut stocks for zero flex, hand-fit national match barrels with tighter chambers and perfect crowns, then fine-tune the gas system with vented plugs and polished internals so the op rod glides like it's on ice without beating the action to death. Triggers get honed to a crisp 4-pound break. Sights upgraded to match-grade apertures, and suddenly, this battle rifle is stacking rounds into groups you could cover with a quarter at 100 yards. It stormed Camp Perry in the 50s and 60s, racking up national trophy wins and proving once and for all that 8 rounds of rapid-fire .30-06 could outshoot bolt guns that cost twice as much. Today, the CMP still builds them to the same spec, and while the supply of true GI parts is drying up, a fresh CMP special or correct grade national match will run you $2,200 to $3,500 depending on wood and finish. The upside is pure history in your hands, lightning fast follow-ups, and a platform that loves surplus ball ammo for plinking, yet rewards hand loads with sub-MOA potential. The downside? It's heavy. The on-block clips can be finicky if you're sloppy. And to keep that match barrel happy, you really want adjustable gas plugs and quality ammo to avoid overgassing or throat erosion. Still, in a market flooded with plastic fantastics, the National Match Garand remains the gold standard for anyone who wants vintage soul, semi-auto speed, and competition-grade accuracy without selling a kidney. Heading north to Sweden, where they took the Mauser design and turned it into something straight out of a gunsmith's dream. The M18 NAD chambered in that sweet 6.5 Rux 55 cartridge that's been whispering bullets downrange for over a century. Picture this. Sweden grabs the Mauser blueprint around the turn of the last century, but they don't mess around. They pour their legendary steel, enforce quality control so tight it'd make a Swiss watchmaker jealous, and pair it with a round that's all about flat trajectories, heavy for caliber slugs, and recoil so gentle you could shoot all day without your shoulder complaining. We're talking a rifle that was built for their military, but ended up as a target shooter's obsession, outpunching even some modern off-the-shelf guns in raw precision. Thanks to barrels that hold up forever, and an action that's cock-on closing smooth like the best pre-98 Mausers, collectors and surplus fans rave about it as the crown jewel of milsurp. Better fit and finish than your average K90-8 or Mosin, with bores often pristine from meticulous Swedish maintenance, making it a go-to for plinking steel at 300 yards, deer hunting in the woods, or just stacking groups that humble newer rifles. The bolt cycles like silk. The trigger surprises with its crisp break right out of a military arm. And that intermediate action feels alive, reliable in the cold or heat without a hitch. Upsides? Insanely accurate for surplus, low kick lets you spot your hits easy, gorgeous craftsmanship that looks hand-carved, and ammo that's still kicking around, or easy to reload without breaking the bank. It's held its spot as a top-tier surplus pick, often called underrated next to flashier Germans. But shooters know, grab a matching numbers Carl Gustavs or Husqvarna example, and you're golden. Prices these days hover around $450 to $800 for good shooters, spiking higher for pristine all-matching rigs that turn heads at the range. Downsides? Yeah, that 29-inch barrel makes it a fence post hauler in tight brush, not the handiest for snapshots. And while tough, it's no tank for rough abuse like some battle-worn relics. Still, in a world of beat-up imports, the Swede M96 stands tall as the affordable accuracy king. Grab one, feed it some M41 surplus or handloads, and feel why it's earned its rep as the finest military bolt gun you can own without selling a kidney. The Ruger precision rifle hit the scene in 2015 like a freight train, and honestly, the long-range world hasn't been the same since. Before the RPR, if you wanted a chassis rifle with a free float barrel, folding stock, sub-MOA guarantee, and all the bells and whistles, you were dropping $4, $5, even $6,000 on a custom or semi-custom build, stuff most of us could only drool over in magazines. Ruger took one look at that, laughed, and said, "Hold my beer." They slapped a cold hammer forged barrel into a rigid aluminum magnesium chassis, made the stock fully adjustable and foldable for easy transport, added an AR-compatible grip and magwell so you could run cheap, reliable P-mags, threw in an M-Lake handguard for accessories, and topped it with a trigger so crisp you'd think it came off a high-end bench rest gun. Then they shipped the whole package for under $2,000. Today, street prices float between $1,400 and $1,700, sometimes dipping lower during sales, and the performance, still jaw-dropping. Pull one out of the box, mount a decent scope, feed it factory match ammo, and it'll hammer half MOA groups all day long. No betting, no tuning, no excuses. This rifle didn't just enter the market, it rewrote the rules. Weekend shooters who used to poke holes at 300 yards with hunting rifles suddenly had a tool that could ring steel at 1,000 without selling their soul. The modularity is insane. Swap barrels and bolt heads in minutes to jump from 308 to 6.5 Creedmoor to 300 Win Mag, and the accuracy never flinches. It's heavy, sure, base weight around 11 pounds before optics and bipod, so it's a dedicated range or competition rig, not a lightweight mountain companion. The handguard warms up fast on long strings, and some old school guys knock the polymer bolt shroud, but when your groups look like a single ragged hole at 600 yards, those complaints vanish. It spawned a flood of clones and budget competitors, but the RPR remains the gold standard, the benchmark every new chassis rifle gets measured against, the gateway drug that turns casual shooters into precision junkies and keeps them hooked for life. For big game hunters who demand guaranteed groups and that timeless walnut and blued look, the Weatherby Mark V stands alone. Roy Weatherby didn't just build a rifle, he built a legend, crafting what many still call the strongest bolt action ever made. 9 massive locking lugs, a receiver like a vault, and barrels hand-lapped to perfection. From day one, he backed it with a promise that still ships in every box. Shoot 1-inch groups at 100 yards with premium ammo or your money back. That's not marketing fluff, it's a dare, and the Mark V keeps cashing the check. Base models start around 1600, while fully loaded versions with fancy wood, fluted barrels, and Cerakote push 3500 and beyond. Feed it Weatherby's own Magnum ammo, those high-velocity screamers Roy pioneered, and you've got a rifle that drops elk at 400 yards with authority and still prints groups you can cover with a nickel. It's not light, not cheap, and definitely not subtle. But for the hunter who wants classic lines, bomb-proof reliability, and a pedigree that turns heads at camp, nothing else comes close. The action cycle's smooth even in freezing temps. The stock fits like it was carved for your shoulder, and the trigger breaks clean enough to make every shot feel surgical. Downsides? The price stings. Magnum ammo isn't cheap, and at 8+ pounds it's a pack animal, not a featherweight. Yet, in a world of plastic and carbon, the Mark V remains the gold standard for serious hunters who want power, beauty, and a guarantee that actually means something, one walnut and blued masterpiece at a time. Halfway through our countdown, we hit the rifle that turned budget precision from a punchline into a flex, the Tikka T3x. This Finnish wizard comes from the same factory that birthed Sako legends, and it shows. Cold hammer forged barrel that laughs at heat. A bolt so smooth it feels like it's running on bearings. A 2-stage trigger that breaks like glass, and a factory sub-MOA guarantee that actually holds up in the real world. All wrapped in a package you can buy for about $850. Hunters who need one rifle for elk in the timber and steel at 500 yards swear by it. New long-range shooters who don't want to mortgage their future, grab it and never look back. The action bed's like a custom, the barrel harmonics are dialed, and the whole thing just works. No drama, no excuses. Feed it decent factory ammo and watch groups shrink to one ragged hole. The polymer magazines feel flimsy and cost a fortune to replace. But when your target looks like you shot it with a laser, you forgive the plastic. It's light enough to carry all day, tough enough for nasty weather. And the modular stock accepts upgrades without a fuss. Downsides? The factory stock flexes a hair under heavy bipods, and the bolt stop can be finicky if you ride it hard. But for the money, it's untouchable. In a market flooded with overpriced entry-level rifles, the Tikka T3x sits on the throne as the king of value precision, the one every other manufacturer measures against, the rifle that proves you don't need deep pockets to shoot like a pro. The Steyr SSG 69 rolled out in the 60s like a quiet revolution, and honestly, Europe's sniper game never recovered. Austria wanted a rifle that could outshoot every heavy wood-stocked relic on the continent. So, Steyr built a masterpiece, synthetic stock that shrugged off rain, snow, and mud. A rear locking bolt that cycled smoother than most target guns. A hammer-forged barrel with tolerances so tight it felt hand-fitted. And a transparent rotary magazine that let you count your rounds at a glance. It was lighter, tougher, and shot tighter than anything twice its size, turning in groups that made old-school armorers rethink everything. Adopted by the Austrian army, it spread to police and special units across the globe, serving over 50 years in every hellhole imaginable without ever losing its mojo. Today, hunting one down on the used market is a mission. Good examples run 1800 to 2800, with pristine, all-matching kits climbing higher as collectors circle. The accuracy hasn't aged a bit. Many still print sub-MOA with surplus or handloads, no tweaks needed. Pros, built like a tank, light enough for long patrols, innovative as hell for its day. And that silky action makes follow-ups feel effortless. Cons? Parts are getting rare, the stock lacks modern adjustability, and the safety feels dated to some. Yet in a sea of tactical clones, the SSG 69 stands as the original disruptor, the rifle that proved polymer and precision belong together, the quiet pioneer that shaped every modern sniper platform, and a used market legend that still drops jaws at the range. At number 3 sits the rifle every modern sniper dreams of being, the Accuracy International AW. Designed by an Olympic gold medal shooter who knew precision wasn't optional, adopted by the British military as the L96A1, and battle-proven from Arctic ice shelves to Middle Eastern deserts, this thing is the definition of unflinching reliability. Full-length aluminum chassis bonded permanently to the action, match-grade free float barrel, 3-position safety that works with gloves in a blizzard, quick-detach mags, and a folding stock option that still locks up like a bank vault. Every part screams professional grade, built to perform when lives depend on it and conditions try to break you. Current AX series models, the direct evolution of the AW, run 7 to 9500 without optics. And they'll still print 3/10 of an MOA in a sandstorm, rainstorm, or after being dragged through mud. It's not just accurate, it's repeatable, day after day, shot after shot, in environments that turn lesser rifles into scrap. Military and police units worldwide have trusted it for decades, and it's set long-range records that still stand. The upsides are legendary: bomb-proof construction, ice-cold consistency, modular design that adapts to mission needs, and a reputation that opens doors in elite circles. Downsides: the price is brutal, it's heavy for extended carry, and you'll wait months for delivery because demand never cools. Yet, in a market full of tactical pretenders, the AW and its AX descendants remain the gold standard, the rifle other manufacturers chase. The one serious operators reach for when failure isn't an option and precision is everything. The Barrett MRAD storms in as our runner-up and redefines what a precision rifle can be. A true shape-shifting beast that laughs at the idea of being just one gun. Introduced to meet SOCOM's wildest demands, this multi-role adaptive design lets you go from 308 to 6.5, Creedmoor to 300, Norma to 338 Lapua in minutes, with nothing more than a single torque wrench, no gunsmith, no bench, no excuses. Barrel swaps are so fast you can change calibers mid-match or mid-mission, and every configuration still hammers half MOA groups like it's offended by anything larger. Folding stock lock solid, monolithic upper rail runs forever for night vision, lasers, whatever you bolt on, and the whole platform is built like a tank that fell in love with accuracy. Military units worldwide trust it in deserts, mountains, Arctic ops, because it just works, no matter how ugly the conditions get. Record setters chase extreme long-range titles with it, and they keep winning because the MRAD doesn't flinch at 2,000 yards. The trigger is match-grade crisp, the ergonomics feel custom, and the recoil management turns Magnum kick into a firm push. Upsides: unmatched versatility, bomb-proof reliability, pro-level accuracy across calibers, and a pedigree that opens doors at elite levels. Downsides: it's a heavyweight, tipping scales well over 14 pounds loaded. So forget hiking it up mountains unless you're built like a pack mule. And the price? Yeah, it stings hard. Street prices hover right around $7,000, sometimes nudging $8,000 with extras, putting it firmly in professional or deep pocket territory. In a market now full of modular rifles, the MRAD still wears the crown, the original do-it-all system that others copy but rarely match, the ultimate Swiss Army knife for anyone who needs one rifle to rule every range, every theater, every distance, without ever compromising on precision. Finally, we arrive at the Springfield M1A, a modern take on the classic M14 rifle. While it isn't a true military surplus rifle, the M1A is still deeply rooted in military history. Developed as a civilian version of the M14, the M1A incorporates many of the same features that made the military M14 so successful. With a gas-operated semi-automatic action and chambered in Spink 308 Winchester, the M1A offers the same level of reliability and performance that its military counterpart did during the Cold War and beyond. The M1A is an excellent rifle for those who want a piece of military history, without dealing with the scarcity and complexities of true surplus rifles. It's built to modern standards, so it offers superior accuracy and a smoother shooting experience compared to older surplus rifles. The downside, however, is the higher price point, with M1A rifles typically costing between $1,300 and $2,800 depending on the configuration. Additionally, while the M1A shares much of the same look and feel as the M14, it lacks the historical provenance that comes with owning an original military surplus rifle. There you have it, 10 rifles that rewrote what accurate even means. From muddy trenches to climate-controlled ranges, the common thread is obsession. Every gram of steel, every turn of a screw, every grain of powder measured like it's gold. Now, I want to hear your take. Which one surprised you? What's the tightest group you've ever shot? Drop it in the comments, hit the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive, and we'll see you on the line.